And dude, nope. Okay, that's it. Oh my god. Loot! Can't miss loot. Alright, so hopefully it still allows us to grab the gear from the giant on our way out. Hopefully. One second, chat. I see something that kind of annoys me right quick. No. Huh? Oh, I swear when I switch to my next room, I'm definitely. Is that everything? That all? Oh, wrong button. That all the loot? That's all the loot. Let's go! Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. I need to get my pop filter back on this because this is not a pop filter. This is a windscreen. This is a windscreen.
Wonderful. Now the Centaur barbarians have added themselves to our already too long list of problems. We'd best order long pikes for the infantry and beef up the fortifications.
Or we could avoid fighting them and save the money for something more urgent than battling barbarians.
I believe we should set up a camp for the night.
Sure. Oh god. Okay, this is scripted, okay. Run, buddy! Run! Ow! Run! Get your paws off me, Carrion! Oh.
I'll carve my name onto your flesh.
On your knees!
Take that!
Ow! Yeah, there was a quick. Okay, there was a quick save. There was a quick save in there. But ow!
Let us press on.
No, I wanted a buff first. All right, we'll try it. No, no. I want a buff first. Darn it. Please? Okay, we'll stop right here. We'll go ahead and buff real quick because
let us not
need it.
hesitate. I am prepared.
Spare me the details.
Quick! So swing this all the fun!
So Kaya Nava Ea Ora Ha
I know.
Riti
Inimosi Travisi Ona Adayanan Ona Adayanan Ona Adayanan Inimosi Travisi Ona
Please, get
Adayanan
to the point.
I always did what is right. Therefore, I became righteous.
Amranda
Does it mean
Grator.
whatever I do now becomes right because I am righteous?
Let's shake a leg!
Hey.
Adventures await.
At your service.
I need to take that shield off him. It's useless on him. Okay, enlarge you.
So many
You're out of buffs.
Ready for anything.
Okay, I'm not gonna need any of these.
I will not falter.
Up to, oh, wait. You're kidding. Wait a minute. Oh. Apparently she's a lot beefier than I originally thought.
My plans always come to fruition.
I'm not gonna waste that. She's a lot beefier than I originally thought. Run, buddy, run! Ow, that hurts. Get your paws off me, carrion!
To battle and victory!
Okay, attacks Karen. Alright. Okay. Ooh. All right, what do you have to talk about, buddy? And good thing I saved it right when we put her. Oh. It's Little Gundy. Little Gunderson. Well, the man you've just saved catches his breath and smiles brightly as if he hadn't just been zigzagging away from his pursuers. His clothing and equipment are an odd mix of quality, durable items, and pompous decorative elements. Even his shirt seems cut especially to provide an unobstructed view of his chest, which is adorned with 2 golden chains. Baron Varn, your grace, what fortunate meeting you here. Until now, I've met only unpleasant guests on my morning escapades. Magar smiles warmly at the stranger and extends his hand in friendship as to an equal. He also stands in such a way as to capture the stranger's attention while not blocking your view. Orsa falls. Greetings. And you are? Willis Gunderson, your grace. Apparently flattered by the attention, the peculiar man strikes a proud pose. Scientist, traveler, and researcher of antiquities at your service. Did I do that right? Hopefully I did. Pleasure to see that my barony attracts such educated people, and it is most regrettable that they must face such difficulties. Maker nods towards the dead, now entirely dead Cyclops. Where did that creature come from? I have no idea. Willis's voice seems tranquil. I was enjoying the view and taking notes when an ill-mannered simpleton stepped into my light. I politely asked him to step aside and allow me to finish, but he wouldn't listen. And when I turned around, I knew he couldn't have, for zombies have as much reasons as manners. While Meager entertains the traveler in conversation, you carefully examine his gear and clothes. The first thing that strikes your attention is an intricate yellowish jade bracelet on his wrist. You can tell by his ragged state that Willis has been on the road for at least a few days, and indeed, from all appearances, mostly off-road. And try to determine the origin of the bracelet. The bracelet looks carved of a whole piece of jade and of unusual hue. Even from a distance, you can see the patterns that decorate it, obviously signs of the relic's origin. This item came from the ancient Cyclops Empire, but what is it doing here, and how did this hapless traveler acquire it? Well, now, this Cyclops is much more polite, isn't he? American falls quiet for a moment, allowing you to add a few words to the conversation. So you're an antiquity specialist, Sir Gunnarsson. That bracelet you're wearing is certainly ancient, isn't it? You won't find a better specialist in ancient times on either side of the Taurus of Lebanese. Willis shows you the bracelet readily. This knick-knack is my latest find. I found it on the river shore. It would seem the water washed it out of some ancient burial mound. No doubt it is very ancient and may have serious scientific value. I haven't dated it precisely yet. You must understand such things take time, but I swear Desna herself guided my hand. Hager approaches and pats the lad on the shoulder, gently taking the bracelet from Willis's hands before he can object. This is quite interesting. The Baron doesn't yet boast of its scientific achievements, but I think we can find a specialist who should be able to determine the bracelet's origin. If this is a precious item, your efforts in finding it will be generously rewarded. Here, take this as an advance. He takes a purse from his belt and hands it to Willis. Where did you say you found it? By the river. Willis seems taken aback by expropriation of the bracelet, but regains his smile when he feels the weight of the purse he'd just been handed. I'm only happy to help in any way I can. Baron Varn, with your connections, will surely discover the origin of this land, and meanwhile, I may employ my time on something just as useful. Did you know that besides scientific artifacts, I also write fiction? I cannot pass up the opportunity to write the exploits of the Varnling host and chronicle your first steps as a baron. You wouldn't mind, would you? So long as they don't ask me to sit for a portrait. Your laughs infectiously. I was born to a noble family, so my childhood was wasted on sitting with my mother and brothers for a train of grand portraits. I was only spared the torture after I covered my waistcoat in tar and lit my pretty feathered beard on fire. So long as you spare me such torments, Willis, I don't mind what you do. You should find some place to settle in Varnhold and get to work. Send word when I receive news about the bracelet. As you wish, Your Grace. It was a pleasure dealing with you. Willis Gunnarsson hurries off in the direction of Varnhold. Megara follows him with his eyes for a time, then scoffs. That went well. Of course, the lad is lying through his teeth, but we got more from him than we might have hoped. Varn looks pensively at the bracelet. Now, I think if I remember correctly, my first playthrough of this, though I didn't do it on stream or anything, because I wanted to play something during my spare time, I went ahead and played this. I only played it the once. If I remember correctly, we actually could have flirted with Willis. Maybe. But anyways, that lad is lying through his teeth, but we got more from him than we might have hoped. Varn looks pensively at the bracelet. Why did you invite this Gunnarsson to Varnhold anyway? Do we really need even more foolish treasure hunters in this backwater? My mercenary gut, 9 times out of 10, when my gut tells me to keep my eyes peeled, the situation is about to get bad. Of course, there's always the 10th time when my gut is merely predicting a severe hangover, but I don't think that's the case this time. Mager frowns for a moment. Maybe Gunnarsson really is just a charming chatterbox and he ran into the dead Cyclops by accident, and maybe this bracelet is a simple piece of jewelry, but something in this story doesn't sit right. I suspect Gunnarsson lied about finding it by the river. He'd clearly been wandering for days through dungeons by the look of him. Ha, didn't I tell you, Safal? There's something wrong here. This bracelet is an ancient Cyclops relic. It doesn't take a specialist to see that. I agree. Perhaps we shall find a Cyclops treasure around the corner. This does not alter the fact our leader continues to leap at every shadow and makes a fool of himself for random passing strangers, instead of focusing on important matters, such as engaging in the barony's politics. The lad finds an ancient Cyclops relic in a dungeon and runs out with a zombie Cyclops at his heels. I see no mystery in what happened here. A keen nose and an eagle eye. Maker pats you on the shoulder in approval. I hope that dead Cyclops is the only thing that crawled out of whatever the lad stole this bracelet. Yeah. Oh, what a story. We've hardly solved our problems with the centaurs, and we've already got a whole new riddle and a personal chronicler along with it. We should look more closely at this paltry rhymes. Sifal, take the bracelet and see what you can make of it. Karen, keep an eye on our new friend. Visit him in Varnhold when you have the time. Maybe you'll manage to prize something else out of him. That's it. Let's move.
Check that out.
That was weird. Normally it stops for something like that, but oh well. Oh well, whatever. Oh, okay. And we're good. Now you, my dear readers, have finally learned how I, Willis Gunderson, author of this tale, first entered the acquaintance of Baron Varn and his companions. But as much as I would like to delve into this remarkable meeting, I must remind myself that by no means am I the main character of this book. Perhaps one day it will occur to Baron Varn or the General to mention me in their memory. For surely our encounter must have made an impression upon them as well. As fate would have it, the party has another adventure before returning to Varnhold. Having decided to take a shortcut, they find themselves in an area with the strange furrows which crisscross the ground here and there. Baron Varn and his companions are cautious and approach unnoticed as a young centaur whoop and leap from one furrow to another. After a moment, Baron Varn prepares to call out to the creature. Sifal tries to stop him, but the general nods and the Baron calls out in his voice, bold voice, drawing the centaur's attention. The call comes just in the nick of time. The centaur freezes and turns towards the party. That very same moment, the jaws of a great monster emerge up from the earth, right where the centaur would have stepped should he have continued on his way. With barely a glance, the seasoned Varnling host recognizes the monster as a bullet, a sleek predator which attacked its prey from under the ground. What was this successful check? It was a 20, so we just needed a 5. Okay, 8. Baron Varn takes up his sword, steadfastly set on settling the matter himself. The general leads the charge, relying on her vigorous attack skills and artful maneuvers. Boom. Yeah. The team attacks in full force. They surround the monster and take it from all sides while distracting it from its cloven prey. What a marvelous dance of death it is. Their swords and spells cut through the trembling dunsword air like lightning bolts across a stormy sky. The beast is clever and quick to realize that the circumstances are turning in its disfavor. It begins to dig once more into the ground. Well, let's go ahead and put it out of misery. The general and the baron exchange glances non-silently and attack the beast with a finishing blow. Could this monster withstand the united attack of these battle-hardened comrades? The answer could be a bit decisive. The answer could be a decisive no. That was a weird reading. I don't know why that was. English, guys. I can't English well. I'm sorry. Anyways, with this second blow, it roars one final time, and then its lifeless flesh sinks into the ground. Another glorious victory for the Varnling host. Bullet, bone, plates, diamond dust times 11. Ooh, nice. The general of the barony eyes the battlefield. I'm kind of glad we didn't actually get up there and fight it. That would have sucked. The young centaur approaches the party hesitantly. His young face glows with boundless gratitude, but its curiosity is tinged with fear. Baron Varn greets the boy and strikes up a conversation. Cephal Laurentis, mumbling something about reckless risks for questionable purposes, approaches the beast's lifeless corpse and starts performing some calculations. Meanwhile, the general decides that is the perfect moment to learn more about centaurs. The centaur says his name is Ryoko, but it sounds more like a nickname than a real one. Not Ryoko. Royko. There we go. Royko. Why would that sound like a nickname? Huh. Interesting. Anyways, he is manifestly stunned about the courage of the Baron and Baron Varn and his people. He hesitantly prepared to go on his way, explaining that the tribe would soon notice his absence and that he might be punished for talking to the two-legged. General delicately managed to get some further information from him. For the most part, it only amounts to what the team already knows, but they learn that the centaur belongs to the Gnomon tribe, and their leader is one Akora Silverfire. A name Royko speaks with the fiery awe of youth. The Gnomon centaurs consider themselves guardians of this land and stand ready to defend it from any invasion. Royko also tells them, with a sigh, that the tribe is very small, unlike in the olden days. War and disaster has taken their toll, and the other tribes no longer want to deal with the Gnomon. Royko's words make it seem as though the other centaur tribes consider his own tribes a little mad. Saying warm goodbyes to the young centaur, Baron Varn nods, content with his own thoughts, and leads the party on to Varnhold. 900 XP. Nice!
I do not like that Gunderson. Even if he is not a spy, and mind you, I still have my doubts. Vagabonds like him always bring trouble.
You can't keep all the vagabonds from breaking their necks in the ruins. At least if he finds something interesting, he'll bring it to us, not Brevoy.
The fall isn't far wrong from that. He is not far wrong from what happens. Oh, that Gunderson. Oh, that Gunderson. After a daring raid into the lands of the wild centaurs, Baron Varn and his companions returned home, and I, Willis Gunderson, had the honor of accompanying them. A time of peace had come as last. Varnhold greets one dawn after another, but in this dark land, I dread to think what awaits us. Oh, I can't save. Oh, rude. Rude. I would like to save. Okay. Varnhold is peaceful and sleepy in the early dawn. It is still a small settlement, not quite yet a town, but striving towards it. It seems to be smiling at you and Baron Varn as the window panes flash in the morning sun, but Beggar seems pensive, almost sad. Does it? Does it? Son of a biscuit! Oh, I'm glad that actually goes away now. Nice.
I'm not sure if it's the right time for this conversation, but I just feel like chatting today. You know, while we were living like a gang of mercenaries, I never tried to make any plans for the future. Never even imagined a happy and proud picture. Myself in 10 years, who had made all his dreams come true. I considered it bad luck. I was superstitious like that. And it's easier when you're not thinking about your future. It's not so scary to dash into risky situations. But I have this new title, and Varnhold. Strange how it can change a person. I've started contemplating things I never used to think about before, and ask myself questions I never even used to ask. I see my warriors and companions in a new light, and you. I'm boring you, aren't I? Let's consider this a scouting mission. I'm sending out my patrols, trying to figure out if there's a chance that my vis-a-vis might decide to change her disposition towards me. To a closer one.
We've known each other for a while. Why haven't you talked about this before?
That's a good question. Probably because just a year ago we were living from one fight to the next. And the only thing I could offer a woman was a night in my tent, and the chance to become a widow before she ever became a wife.
Scouts report back the maneuver you were asking about is more than possible.
Not a single report has ever made me so happy. Wait, who's that running after us?
Hello. Run, little snake, run! Baron, Kaja is looking for you urgently. I had a feeling some disaster just bound to happen today. Let's go. Well, still can't say. I still can't. Kajurdi. As Kajurdi approaches Varn, a wince across her grim face, but she speaks not a word and instead hands him a document.
Aha! I see you've included everything, just as I asked. Thank you, Kiardi.
Kiardi. Okay, Kiardi. Thank you. Thank you for pronouncing that name. I'm gonna forget it. Kiardi.
Maegor, what does this mean? Tell me, what am I to make of this?
I sent some much-needed aid to our neighbors in the Shrike Hills. They're our only possible allies in the coming carnage. Cephal, I know your opinion, but be realistic. The Aldori are not our friends. We can't count on them for help if something happens. We're expendable.
You will not preach realism to me, you naive boy. Yes, we are bargaining chips to them. That is exactly what I'm basing my politics on. A delicate contraption which you are smashing to bits. War will come to Brevor, even you can see that. But as long as it hasn't yet begun, you can scarcely do better than pretending to be the Aldori's most loyal vassals.
Cephal, you're not making any sense. You say that an alliance with the Aldori will end in a bloodbath. That surely means that we'd be best to keep away from them.
And how are you going to manage that? Perhaps Varnhold will grow a pair of legs and we shall ride it to the other end of Avestan. Or maybe we'll erect sails across the barony and sail far, far away from Brevoy. No, you don't think it will work? Then stop dreaming of isolating the country. We're already a part of this game, and we will not be able to leave it when the smoke clears from the final battlefield. Listen to me carefully, you three. Yes, Harry, this involves you too. Things are looking bad. First, the land here is fertile, but its most bountiful crop is Cyclopes' graves. Second, it shares a border with the Obaria, well known for its epidemics. Gods forbid the wind carries the next plague here. Settlers are reluctant to come here as it is, I can scarcely blame them. Do not become too attached to Varnhold. This is but a stepping stone. Our real prize lies to the west. But what does Varn do? He sends them gifts. Better to send them assassins. Without their Baron, the Shrike Hills would descend into a struggle for power, and Silverstep and the Canelands would fall to us soon after.
Such villainy!
Yeah.
Do not interrupt your regent, Varn, or relieve me of the position this instant. Now, what is the most important thing here? The Aldori are afraid of unleashing war. They know that if they tried to separate from Brevoy without some kind of outside support, the Sotova would crush them. So, we must convince them that we are their most loyal allies. We will stoke the Aldori into an uprising. When the rest picks up, we shall strike them in the back and make them fight on two fronts.
No.
While you, Your Grace, were drinking wine at the feast, I was busy acquiring a map of Nivodka's Crossing. Look at these fortifications. If we could seize this town, we'd win a significant piece of Brevik land along with it. After we've assisted the Sotova in hanging the Aldori on the gates, they will allow us to keep part of what we have seized as a reward. Then we will have peace and prosperity.
Guy's an ass.
Get out of my sight, Seville. Get out! Never would the name of Magar Varn be tarred with such abominable villainy. It never happened while I was leader of a mercenary party, and won't happen now that I'm Baron.
Great Asmodeus, what did I do to deserve this punishment? Why do I deal with you at all? I should have taken my share and retired a long time ago. I'll be off somewhere soon enough. To Absalom or Cheliax. I shall read books on the porch and drink wine, while you do whatever you want. Burn the city down and get yourself killed. Come to me later. We need to talk.
I can't believe my ears. Must the history of our country begin with such villainy? Oh, Seville. Seville. Well. Let the old devil cool off. I'll talk to him later. Is that all, Kiadi?
Dwarf shrugs and hands him another paper.
I see. So, we've got a revolutionary from Galt on our hands. A tavern keeper writes us. She saw the revolutionary walking around, stirring up the people for an uprising. Well, you're the general. You go and deal with it. Talk to the tavern keeper. Find out where to look for this instigator. Well, far be it from me to teach you how to do your job. When you finish, report back to me. By the gods, what a worry. Uprisings, intrigues, these damn letters. That Gunderson and his bracelet. And the Baron has to see to all of that and listen to everyone's complaints while he's at it. What a nuisance.
Magar leaves in a cloud of curses. Ugh. This is definitely not turning out great. So, did you handle those troublemakers? On top of everything else, an uprising is just what we need. After the quarrel with Cephal, you mentioned some letters that gave you a headache. You mind if I ask about what that's about? I've received a letter with some threats. You do know how letters with threats make me laugh. Magar doesn't laugh, but sullenly articulates each ha, emphasizing his dark mood. As if this whole government headache wasn't enough. Now there's another contender from Brevoy scheming for their own piece of pie. I wonder why he dislikes the alliance between Varnhold and the barony of Shrike Hills. Here, you read if you like. I'm not certain of the author, but I can make a guess. A few years ago, the mother of this little rat hired us to find him, remember? From the moment we met him, I wanted to tie him to a tree in the forest and leave him overnight just to teach him a lesson. If he wasn't heir to one of the great houses of Bravoy, I would have done just that. Maybe something good would have come of the little rat. What can you say of Willis Gunnarsson? What does your mercenary gut tell you? Gunnarsson himself doesn't bother me. It can't hurt to have him in the barony. We still don't have much entertainment here, and that lad is a free circus show for everyone who cares to watch. But that bracelet, you know, I sent scouts to retrace Gunnarsson's steps, and they couldn't find a sign of him. That's one hell of a location. Hills, mountains, gorges, and 1,000 caves. If he lied about where he found it, we'll be looking for its true origin for years, and I don't like it. And I know about a dozen unhappy stories that began with an unknown ancient relic suddenly appearing. That's why I'm writing our western neighbor in the Strike Hills. Maybe they have a good sorcerer or historian who can help us puzzle out what this bracelet is. And now he wants to talk to us.